Hello, welcome to the Abyss. This is Doth Nihilus. Not wearing my usual red shirt because today is kind of a relaxed episode. Um, Not a whole lot going on, really. Hey, hello, Caligula. How's it going? Um, so this live, I'm going to be talking about tarot, showcasing some of the tarot decks that I've collected over the years. Give book recommendations to tarot, give some of the knowledge that I've um, um, accrued over my study. Now, I'm not very proficient in tarot, um, and I haven't really studied that much. I would consider myself novice when it comes to tarot, but I do know a little bit. So this is mostly going to be showcasing decks and book recommendations. So if that's your cup of tea, if you're interested in that, um, by all means, hang out and enjoy yourselves. So I want to start out by showcasing the first tarot deck that I ever got. And most of you guys don't know me that well, but I'm kind of bougie when it comes to my pagan slash occult paraphernalia. So the first tarot deck that I ever got was the Illuminati Tarot. And it's basically a really fancy version of um, the Rider-Waite. To give you an idea of what it looks like, I'll give you a look at like 3 or 4 cards. So this is the Ace of Pentacles. It's the Ace of Pentacles. The art style is very computer generated. But like I said, it's in the vein of the Rider-Waite. So here is the Nine of Swords. Here is the King of Pentacles. And then finally, the Seven of Cups. Well, I'll do one major arcana card here. I don't think I covered it. No. Here's the Lovers. And the Tower. So, like I said, in the vein of the Rider-Waite. If I was going to do public readings with tarot cards, this would probably be the deck I would use. But I've always been connected to the Rider-Waite, even though I'm a Thelemite. Some Thelemites, at least the ones I've talked to, they really like the Thoth deck. But I'm not really all that proficient with the Thoth deck, I get its imagery, at least some of it, but I'm not very proficient or knowledgeable with I'm not knowledgeable enough with the Thoth deck to adequately give readings to people or really to myself. I don't really connect that much with the imagery. Now, the next deck I'm going to showcase is, of course, everyone's favorite commonly known tarot deck, and that is the Rider-Waite. This deck is the one I use for myself for personal readings. It's very well used. I love the imagery. I get the symbolism of the decks. The one book I would recommend for people who are interested in studying with this is The Pictorial Key of the Tarot by Arthur Waite. He definitely breaks down the symbology of each of the cards and it's definitely an essential text to have when it comes to the Rider-Waite Tarot. So that's said, I will. I did get into Druidry a little bit when I was before I'd become a Thelemite. So one of the decks that I got was kind of a combination of two decks, really. I got the Druid Oracle, the Druid Oracle Animal. I think that's what it's called, Animal deck or whatever. But so it connects there's a plant deck and then there's an animal deck. So I believe this is the plant deck for the Druidry, the Druid Oracle deck. So that's the plant, Fern, and then this is a card from the animal deck, which is a hind. So I've used these a little bit. I'm not very proficient with them, and they're giant ass cards. I mean, compare this to the size of, it's about the size of my hand. So they're not exactly ideal cards to do the classic card shuffle with, but you can just, toss them like a lot and see where they fall. But aside from that, the other deck that I got, when I first started learning about paganism, I got into Wicca and stuff like that. And I got into Wicca through Anne Mora, the Green Witch series. I'm not sure how many people here are familiar with Anne Mora, but she did her own line of tarot. Let me see if I can find it. I have so many Oracle tarot cards. Here we go. This is the Green Witch Tarot that she created. This first card is the Wild Hunt. It's a play on the Tower card. So that's the Wild Hunt of the Green Witch Tarot. The Shadowscapes Tarot, I actually bought that deck for my wife. She really loves the imagery, and I like the imagery too. It's a very awesome looking deck. And it's another one that I would say is definitely a must get. The artist of that deck actually put out, I believe, a whole bunch of art books. So you can full scale pages of watercolor art that she did. That's not exclusively to the Shadowscapes Tarot. Here's another card from the Green Witch Tarot deck. The Nine of Wands, I believe. Yes, Nine of Wands. There you go. The Two of Pentacles here. And then the Harvest, which I'm not I know it's a major arcana card, but I'm not sure what card it correlates to in the Rider-Waite. But so those are, this is what the back looks like if you're at all interested. So that's that. This was actually the second deck I got, and I did use it for personal readings, but I liked the Rider-Waite preferably. I mean, the Green Witch Tarot does follow along the same lines of the Rider-Waite, and most tarot decks do. Let's not pretend that they don't. It's a very safe system of symbology to use when making a tarot deck. If I made a tarot deck, I would probably incorporate some elements of that. But Anne Mora has a separate book on tarot called Tarot for the Green Witch. If you get the Green Witch Tarot deck, this book is definitely a must get. The Green Witch Tarot does come with its own book, but this one goes into a little bit more detail than the other one does. I mean, there are some sections in this book that are similar to the little book that you get, but if you want a little bit more info on tarot, on her take of tarot, this is a book to definitely pick up. The next tarot deck I wanted to talk about is the one every Thelemite loves to bring up, and that is the Thoth Tarot. So this is the Empress, and everyone's familiar with, every Thelemite I know is pretty much familiar with this deck. This one is Indolence, or the Eight of Cups. Now, just because I don't connect with this deck now, right? It's not one of my favorites either. The Emperor, but that just because I have this card and I don't connect with it now doesn't necessarily mean that I don't want to learn about it, or I don't want to connect with it. Because connecting with a deck isn't, sometimes with decks it's automatic. You really connect with the imagery, the symbolism, everything just kind of clicks for you. And then other decks, you have to do a deep dive. And because of the level of esotericism and symbology in the Thoth Tarot deck specifically, it's definitely a deck that the art style is admittedly really pretty, though. Yes, it is very pretty. But like I was saying, some decks you have to do a much more deep dive and much more study into. And this is definitely one of them. When it comes to, I almost lost the baggie for it. When it comes to the Thoth Tarot, there are two books that I will recommend simply because they are recommendations that were given to me. And those books are, the first book I'll recommend, obviously, is Lon Milo Duquette's Understanding the Thoth, Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. This is a very essential read. It breaks down all of the symbology and esotericism related to the deck. I believe it also gives kind of like some context to the history of the deck and so much more. It's definitely an essential book to understanding the Thoth Tarot, and it also makes reading the actual Book of Thoth, which is Aleister Crowley's personal comments on the Thoth Tarot and its symbology and everything, much more easily to digest. So read this, then read this. So that's my personal recommendation on that. If you're just getting started in tarot, or you want to be able to kind of connect with tarot as an art form, and connect with it much more on a personal level, I recommend anything by Mary K. Greer. But the first book I'm going to recommend is Tarot for Yourself. This is a much older copy. This is my wife's copy, but I definitely read through this, and it makes it much more of a personal journey than just simply reading a book on correspondences, because it makes you feel like the fool going through your own esoteric journey through the cards and everything, and it gives you a very transformative experience when you're reading through the book and doing and following along with the lessons and exercises. The newer editions come in a spiral binder form, which is a little bit more easier to work through. So it's a tarot workbook essentially, and like I said, anything that is any tarot book by Mary K. Greer is an essential book on tarot, and her books have so much layer to them, and they talk about so much different stuff with respect to the tarot. Another tarot author that I recommend, that I don't have any books yet, but he's on my list of authors of books to get, is Paul Foster Case or something like that. But he Paul Foster Case has a bunch of books. He actually has his own tarot deck, Builders of the Atium Tarot. It's black and white, but it's one of the first tarot decks to incorporate each of the cards along with a Hebrew letter. And that comes to my next tarot deck, which is the Ceremonial Tarot by Lon Milo Duquette. It comes with a little booklet. There's also an actual full-on book on this tarot deck by Lon Milo Duquette. I haven't gotten that yet. I am going to get it. It's on my list. I have so many books to read. I've only read 16 of the books on my 30-plus book list. Scrolling through the stacks has been a chore, but it has definitely paid off in knowledge and application. But this is what the tarot of the ceremonial magic tarot looks like. It has a whole bunch of correspondences to it. This is the Fool. This represents, of course, the Hebrew letter association, the element, and then I believe this is an air-earth correlation, the green and yellow. And then, of course, these are different other correspondences. I'm not familiar with the correspondences in the white yet. But like I said, I'm getting there. I'm working on it. I'm exploring all of this stuff, and I'll, as I get knowledgeable on these subjects, I will share all that information with you, as always. But so that's that. Here is the Magus. I love this card. It's actually one of my favorite cards in this deck specifically, because I'm a Crowley fan. I wouldn't say I'm a Crowley a Crowleyite, where I treat him like he's Jesus or something, but he's an influential figure in the occult world for a very important reason. But yeah, there's the associations here: the Hebrew association, the planetary association with the card, and then the High Priestess. I'm pretty sure that is New Wheat. I could be wrong. But the Moon, the Hebrew association, the Pillars, Mercy and Severity. But like I said, this Tarot of Ceremonial Magic is incredibly dense in symbology, and also that there is a book completely separate that you have to get, and I also recommend that if you want to work with this tarot deck, that you also get that book as well. Lon Milo Duquette is a great author. All of his books are essential reads for any beginner, whether it's occultism, ceremonial magic, or thelema. I highly recommend anyone to check out his books. Now this one is an oracle deck. And this one I actually found at a thrift store near my house, my old house, my old apartment. This is called the Psychic Tarot Oracle Deck. It comes with a pretty thick book. But this one is really awesome. Has some very awesome imagery, and it's got a lot of different associations to it. But I highly recommend it as an oracle deck or as a tarot deck, really. This is Foundation and Achievements. That's what the symbol looks. Here's the imagery here. This is the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland. Here's the Temptation card. I have gone on to watch Lon's daily chats and talks on Facebook. I even watch them after he does the lives and stuff, because it's always, he's just a font of information. I love everything that how he presents everything. It's so palatable, and it's just really awesome to hear his lectures on stuff. This is Suffering in Silence. And then it also incorporates chakra, which is interesting. So it's this like base chakra here. It has like very new age kind of connotations to it. Here's the card on authority. Yes, he is definitely brilliant. And then let's see here. I will set these aside for now. Put those away later. Did I miss anything? No, I don't think so. What's in this one? I think I went through everything. Oh no, I knew I was missing one more tarot deck. This is, I actually mistakenly called it the Robin Hood Tarot, but it's not Robin Hood. It would be awesome if it was Robin Hood. They should make a Robin Hood Tarot deck if they haven't already. The Sheriff of Nottingham could be Prince John. But this is the Robin Wood Tarot. It's also in the style of the Rider-Waite, obviously. This is the Ten of Cups symbology here. Here is the Nine of Swords. So basically very much in line with the Rider-Waite. The Three of Wands. And finally, the Hermit. The Hermit's another one of my favorite cards because it's just so iconic, and it kind of reminds me of that scene. Yes, the Psychic Tarot is definitely a very good card to meditate. The next deck after this is, and this is a very rare deck to find. I got this off of eBay a long time ago. I kind of went through a Catholic phase. simply because I just kind of felt felt drawn to the iconography and symbolism of Catholicism. For those who haven't seen my first episode of Live from the Abyss, I've kind of talked about this. But the book, I got a tarot deck because I was interested in, is like, are there any like Christian tarot decks out there? I mean, besides, the usual angelic decks like Dion Fortune or Doreen Fortune or whatever her name is. I'm not good at this, remembering names anyways. But this deck, I have not been able to find it again, but I did give this as a recommendation. It's called Voices of Saints, and it's a tarot deck. It's a Catholic themed tarot deck, and this is what both sides of the box look like. But it's a very rare deck. I haven't seen it anywhere else online. I did see it one other place, but it cost hundreds of dollars to find it. I got this for I think $40-50. But so it has different Catholic saints, and it has a little book of correspondences to each of the saints. So if you're Catholic, or you want, or you're Christian, or you want to find some way to have a tarot deck and connect to it in your own spiritual tradition, this is pretty much it. Here is the card for Saint Francis of Assisi. I am actually a big fan of Saint Francis. I was always felt very connected to him as an individual, as a spiritual teacher. Here is Saint Joaquin. Joaquin. You can read that yourself. I'm like I said, I'm bad with names. This is Saint Paul. Saint Camillus de Lace. I'm also not very proficient with Latin, if you hadn't guessed. Saint Antoninus. And of course, the final card, because everybody, I've met people of all sorts of different walks of life, who have prayed to Saint Expedite. So this is again called Voices of Saints. It is a tarot deck. So like I said, if you're Catholic or come from a Catholic background, or you just want to connect to some Christian religious iconography and still not consider yourself a heretic, even though heresy is totally based, I recommend Voices of Saints. Like I said, I haven't been able to find this tarot deck very easily. It's very, very rare, but if you find it and you're interested in getting it, pick it up. If it's affordable. Don't bankrupt yourself solely for a tarot deck. And I will give a quick shout out to Klarna, because they have been able to make it affordable for me to buy all of my esoteric things. So if you need an affordable way to buy expensive things, whether on Etsy or eBay, and you just want to be able, pay over time rather than having to pay $300 up front, use Klarna. This is not an official promotion. This is just me giving some advice. It's not a credit card. You basically use your own bank and you make payments on it over time. Whether it be and bi-weekly or over the course of 6 months, whichever you feel is comfortable for you. But they have definitely helped me with purchasing all of this shit. I have a whole bunch of other books that I'm looking at getting at some point. I will definitely also recommend you check out Scribd for any occult books. Even though I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of copyrights. I'll be honest with you guys. And so I don't have a problem with PDFs or anything. But generally, if I think a book is worth buying, I will buy a physical copy from the author. That's how I work. Most of the books that I download are out of print anyways. So I don't necessarily take a moral issue with that. If it's a newer book, I generally like to get a physical copy of it. If it's in print, same thing. But yeah, so that is my talk on tarot. I don't know a whole lot enough to talk about concepts. I know that like the cups represent emotion, the swords represent conflict, the wands represent knowledge, wisdom, or understanding, and then the pentacles kind of represent earth, abundance, very basic correspondences to them. The pentacles represent earth, as I said before. The wands, air. The cups, water. And the swords, fire. Each ace within each ace of the suit represents the total accumulation of each of the tarot cards. This is something that Lon Malu Duquette specifically talked about. Whereas each of the cards within a suit represents a piece of that knowledge within each suit. The ace card represents the total sum of that suit. So that's basically just throwing seeds out there. Lon Malu Duquette obviously explained it a little bit more in depth and a little bit better than I did. At least I don't think I explained it that well. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this live, enjoyed these cards, these books, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes, or if you have any questions, no problem. This is, like I said, I'm perfectly willing to share all of my information with you guys. Anything, I feel like, basically all just overall information. I'm glad you all are here and enjoying yourselves. But yeah, you guys all have a wonderful day. And I will talk with you next Friday. I will be doing a live with Nero the Witch. We're going to talk about his practice and some of the stuff that he's doing. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. And as always, blessed be in 93.